Hi and welcome. I'm Angela and I've lost my shoe. Today is a video. I feel shoeless, like Cinderella. I had that told to me this weekend, something about Cinderella. What is that, losing your shoe, all about symbolically? We might explore that in the next 3 videos because this video series is about how do you maintain your inner integrity with yourself as you move out into the world, into a group, into any social situation, perhaps a relationship, and specifically in groups. So today I'm looking at when there's a phenomenon now where more people live alone than ever before in modern countries, and living alone but feeling connected. And I'm going to look at 3 videos about this in the month of June. So the first video is going to be more about living on your own and still being connected, because that's a phenomenon that's happening a lot for people. And the next video is going to look at what is the purpose of getting into your community, and then what might come up as you do that dance of trying to be yourself, or being trying, as I've often called myself, very trying when I go into groups. And the third video, I'm going to look at the world. So there's this global phenomenon that's happening now where we're saying that we're all one world family, yet there's a lot of conflict in that. And the third video, I'm going to look at how conflict within our own birth family or adopted family often gets projected out into the world and how to dance with that. So today I'm looking at living alone but feeling connected, and looking at this common phrase that you may have heard: home is where the heart is. And I'm going to offer a tool to really help you imagine how to expand that sense of the heart out. And I'll finish with that tool. It's a quick visualization exercise, like a guided visualization. And it's been very useful for me, particularly because I often work and live alone, and sometimes with my partner. So I've been away from my partner, but I've had to remain connected to my partner energetically. And many people are now living alone and feeling disconnected. And this is a very important experience to start bringing more awareness to, because if we focus on disconnection, if you feel lonely, if you feel isolated, or you can't connect and you get stuck in the Netflix rabbit hole, as I've discussed with my dear friend and colleague Caroline Jacobs, being a Netflix bunny lost down the rabbit hole and creating more senses of disconnection, what happens to the actual physical body is it begins to shut down. So when you become connected to a computer or a phone or an electronic device, you actually narrow energetically your ability to expand your energy or your heart into the world. That doesn't mean you can't use a phone and be heart connected. What I'm saying is that as we become a society much more invested in this very small portable device or electronic devices, we don't exercise the muscle of being socially engaged. And we also don't exercise the muscle of having our heart able to easily connect to others. So living alone but feeling connected is a state that you can live. And I'm here to advocate for that, because I've spent much of my life, the second part of my life, moving away from friends and family and feeling guilty, or feeling, how many feelings have I felt? Well, I felt irresponsible, not being able to maintain connections. So a lot of us have certain perceptions, judgments, beliefs, attitudes about being alone. And when you see those attitudes, there is an opportunity to simply expand the heart. So you stop judging, criticizing yourself or your community or the groups that you live with. And it's really important to start practicing feeling that expansion in the heart, especially in a society where we're starting to get really addicted to screen time. I mean, I'm loving YouTube anyway. I get so much stimulation from it. But when we start to look at, I'm going to spend more time with the screen versus someone you deeply care for, that's really interesting. Why would we choose to do that? And of course, it's because we're looking for stimulation. That's a natural human desire to be stimulated. But why aren't we looking to create stimulation for perhaps someone that we love? And if you're single, this is a related experience about being alone but still feeling connected. What I hear from a lot of people who are single is that they keep on experiencing this sense of there's no one out there that really I want to connect with. And why would I want to connect with someone? And they're great questions. So thank you for asking those questions. Because if you are going to invest your heart into building connection in a love relationship, please understand that that is an investment, not just like the stock market where you're hoping things go the way you want. It's an investment into that person. It's a commitment to, I want to have fun with this person and I want to experience everything that comes up in that journey of sharing with the person. So they're good questions if you're single. And if you are single and finding that you're not able to connect, they're really important emotions to explore, because if you were to go into a relationship, how do you get out of that entrapment of feeling nobody understands me and I'm disconnected? Hi, Maya. Good to see you here. Oh, I feel your heart. So, yeah, Maya's had a great experience of feeling her heart and feeling connected to others, even when you're alone. So, especially for those of you who live alone, this is today what I'd like to open up to is some of the things that we normally may ignore when we go into habits of living alone. What happens when we live alone is we don't have feedback from an annoying parent, or we don't have feedback from housemates. We don't have someone saying, oh, can you do the dishes? We don't have that normal banter that comes from living in shared space. And you also don't have responsibilities, which is a great thing for some of us. When you don't live alone, you're completely free. So there's a benefit to living alone, and it's great. The thing that we tend to overlook or miss when we don't have someone that we're living with is that we don't get that feedback also about our quirks, okay? So there's a thing that happens in group situations where often our personality quirks can be stimulated. So, for example, if you go to a party and you are shy, that will be stimulated in a group. Or if you go to a party and you're one of those people that has to be an extrovert and dominate the conversation or do annoying behaviours that trigger people, that will be triggered in a group. So when we're not with groups or with interaction in the home environment, we miss seeing our personality quirks. And what happens is we tend to focus on our negative aspect or a sense of lack, because we don't have someone there to sort of either say something to lift us up or distract us or engage us in another activity, or simply to just stop navel gazing and do something different. So we get into cycles of looking at the self in a way that can kind of focus on the negative, unless you practice heart expansion and connecting and expanding your heart to others, which I'll share at the end. So if you want to look at what are your quirks, the most difficult way but fun way is to get involved in a group. I did this when I joined a drama group. I was extremely shy and awkward about expressing myself, but I had a deep hunger to express myself and perform. But when I joined the drama group when I was at university, they were extremely supportive and quite quirky themselves. So I discovered that the things that I would judge about myself at home, alone, in my room, and be very negative, I could share in a group environment and they would laugh, not just at me, but a little bit at me. But I would make jokes and make them laugh. And that's when I found out also that they were quirky and they made me laugh. And I discovered owning your quirks was a wonderful way to get out of cycles of thinking, oh, I don't like that thing that I'm missing about myself. If you have a habit of, when you're alone, focusing what's wrong with you, what's being shown to you is that you're not actually able to share. You're feeling like your energy's being shut down. That's what your body system is feeling shut down. That's why you may go to a tablet or a device or a phone to get out of that. We're trying to escape feeling like we're missing something. And that's okay. So one of the things that you could try, if you don't want to join a group to explore your quirks, is to just make fun of those things that you find annoying about yourself or that you're supposedly lacking, as if nobody else in the world feels that same way when they're home alone, stuck in their bedroom, as I was as a teenager. And many people, when you're stuck alone through teenage years or through early childhood, you create ideas that there's something not right with you or you're missing something, usually because you're young and you don't have agency or power in your life. You can't leave home. You can't get out of the house. So you can get into thought habits or beliefs that somehow you're missing something. But quirks are really important. And if you don't know how to look at the quirks of your own personality, then think about quirks of other people that you find funny. So if you think someone does something and that's really odd or funny, write that down. And then consider, why do I find that funny about that person? How am I similar? How am I different? So I'll just review that. If you focus on the things that are quirky about you, do that naturally and see why that might be funny and quirky. It's an odd characteristic of yourself, and see how it could be entertaining for yourself or somebody else. If you struggle to see what's quirky about you because you need some more feedback, focus on someone you find funny and write down what you find quirky about them, and then ask yourself, what is funny about that to you, and how are you similar and how you're different? Usually what we find funny in someone or in a famous comedian, there's something in them that we're looking to fulfill in ourselves. Even if we don't think we have an interest in that. So there are important cues about how to enjoy things about yourself that could be limitations, but they're quite funny. If you look at all comedians, they look at our human flaws and they make jokes about it. And it brings a lightness to it. So expanding into relationship is about being able to share your interests, your quirks, your perspectives on life without sort of trying to convert anyone. Just say, oh, this is what I experience about the world. But we often fear, if we shared that in a conversation or maybe on social media, that someone's going to criticize you or think this about you. They're going to pigeonhole you into thinking you're this kind of person if you say things. So there is a way to say things that are more about sharing from your heart, and I'm going to work on the tool that I use to help just surround my field and expand my heart out into the world. So this is a little exercise for you. You can do it with me if you wish, or just watch and consider how it might be useful to you or not. It doesn't matter. It's one of my quirks. I like to focus on my heart and I like to expand it energetically, especially when I can't be physically with someone. And it also helps me to go beyond guilt about maybe I'm not the best person at keeping in touch with people, but I can share my thoughts positively with others when I expand my heart to them. So for this exercise, all you need to do is focus on your body where you are right now. If you're seated in a chair, all the better. If you're seated, if you're lying down, you can still do this. It just has a different feeling if you're sitting up. It changes the state and the flow of energy in your body when we're seated upright, or when the spine is upright. With the spine upright, we also connect to the gravity, not in a negative way, but we connect to gravity through our ability to be erect through the spine. And keep in mind that human animals are one of the few animals that actually do that. So there's something kind of important about our consciousness because we're erect versus having our belly to the ground, which we do when we're in early life. But as we grow, our consciousness is seeking to move up with the magnetic and gravity fields of the earth. And we also connect to the sun. The sun is what actually helps to, one of the aspects that help to maintain gravity on the earth. And the earth being a globe also has a field, a magnetic field around it that supports the force of gravity. My science is probably all wrong. But anyway, as a dancer, I've always understood that keeping that spine upright starts to elevate the heart itself, starts to put the heart in alignment with the fields of the earth in relationship to the sun. And then what we're going to do to focus, to give more clarity to the heart, is simply to imagine that there's a bubble of energy around your body. So in dance, we call it the kinesphere. In energy healing, we might call it the aura or the energy body. And in Qigong and other yoga and movement, they dance with it quite a bit. They move the energy up the body and around to give you that sense of the field of space around your body. So what you would do if you want to call on that field of space is just to imagine a bubble of energy around you. And to reinforce the heart, you want to seal that bubble with love. Whatever sealing, if you do meditation, just use whatever exercise you do to seal your bubble around your aura. I use the blue flame because it's what's been the best for me to really reinforce love for my heart and a sense of safety and protection and upliftment for the heart. So you seal that bubble around you and then gently closing the eyes. As you're inside that imaginary bubble, you begin to just ask to connect to the heart and feel that heart. Some people struggle with feeling the heart. So let's, if you want, put the hands on the heart center, that's the spiritual heart, and practice with feeling your actual hands starting to connect to the heart center. And as you're breathing into the hands, feel your hands sinking into the flesh of your heart center, that chest there. It's almost like you're nurturing that heart, the energy of your heart. So practice a few breaths, just breathing into that heart center with your eyes closed. And I'm going to close my eyes as well, so you can just start to experience internally what that heart feels like. As you breathe into the heart, just sense or feel the energy there. If there's any anxiety or feelings or flutters, or if the rhythm is fast, that's totally fine. Just start to let the hands begin to relax that heart center as much as you can. And with your breath, if there is anything in the heart, just allow the breath to exhale any excess energy out of the body through the feet down into the earth itself. So with your hands on that heart center, allow the hands to really feel that the heart is supported. So whatever feeling you can give in your hands right now to give that nurturance and love and support to your heart. And then as much as you can just stay here. So today I'm not going to stay, but if you were just here and you need to release any anxiety or tension, whatever is in the heart, through the feet, just stay here in your bubble of protection and keep releasing. Just relax, because often our tension in our hearts can interfere with our ability to connect to ourselves, let alone anyone else. So now with your heart center, feel it just expand into the hands on the chest here. So just with your breath, feel your heart energy. Imagine that there's a bubble of light or energy inside your heart center, and just allow it to play and feel it expanding into your hands. So it expands gently into your hands. It's not a big movement, it's an internal feeling, just allowing that heart to feel expansion with the gentle support of your hands on your heart center. And then this time, we're just going to ask one question. If there was any one person or any group that you would like to expand your heart into today, you can pick either a person or a group, and just imagine that you're expanding your heart energy that you're feeling in your hands or under the hands, that you're expanding your heart in your imagination to that one person or the group, and you're just sharing it. You're not asking anything of that person, just sharing your heart energy, expanding it to that person or the group, knowing that it's shared in safety and balance. So you can use this exercise to connect to your heart inside your own bubble of energy. Feel it with your hands, nurture it with your hands. And if there is one person or a group, just practice energetically expanding to them. Without any agenda, you're just sharing your heart. And then when you feel you've completed that sharing, you just gently breathe into your heart. Let go any excess energy again if there's anything there, and gently open your eyes. So that's a simple tool to connect to a person, a group, no agenda. You're just sharing and expanding your heart energy. And I've used this tool, for example, if I feel a person, a friend that needs extra support, I'll just share that connection to them if I can't text or make contact to them because I'm on the bus or in the middle of something, but I just want to send that connection to them. I'm not sending an agenda. I'm not saying I want you to be calling me or anything. I'm just sending that energy out there. And what we do that every day unconsciously. What this exercise does is it practices expanding your heart out. So you actually start to practice what it's like to share at the energy level before you go into a social context. And it also, with the sealing of your aura, gives you a certain field to contain your energy. So you're not just all, I know when I used to be young, I used to go to a social situation and kind of, I don't know, I'd behave in ways that I'd be embarrassed about later. That's my quirks. But I didn't know how to share myself. By practicing sealing your aura, what you do is you start to contain your energy. And this I learned in dance as well, because we worked with our kinesphere, and I got a clear sense of it energy-wise. That was my sphere of movement. And this was my nervous system within that sphere of movement. Gave me container. In the same way, our heart energy, it wants to share, but it also wants to be safe. And there's a lot of things in our world now where we don't feel safe to share, and we feel people are going to attack us and all that. I hear a lot of that stuff, like negative energies are out there and people are really negative. One reason people are negative is that we're not practicing just connecting to each other. We're not practicing connecting to our heart. We've got out of social situations where we used to practice sharing, just sharing, eating a meal together without there being an agenda besides, hey, how was your day? Or what did you watch on TV last night? Or what movies? We kind of have got out of habits culturally of sharing. And our bodies, once we get addicted to devices or being alone, we start to shrink our field, our energy field, and we start to become much more mental, and our heart energy starts to be squashed by the mental energy. So this simple exercise is about just feeling your heart expand to one person. First, you've got to connect to yourself and give nurturance to that heart inside, you and actually reconnect to the energy space in the body, because often when we're using devices, we get into our head and our hands and the upper part of the brain using a device, and we disconnect from the heart's neurobiology. And the heart has a neuro system throughout the entire body system. It's also connected to the brain, and it needs to balance the brain and work with it. But our brains that become overstimulated start to forget to tune in or feel that heart space. So first, feeling that heart space and practicing it with your hands over the heart and feeling internally that what that heart space is, sealing your aura before you even do that, and then begin to gently imagine expanding it to one person or a group without an agenda. We're not forcing our expectation, needs, or desires on others. When I was younger and I socialized, I used to go to parties and I was like, please like me, please like me. And then I acted really strange. So that was probably what I was looking for. It was just people to sort of accept me. But now when I go out, I just even don't know why I go out. Sometimes I go out just to experience life, and miracles happen. People come up to me, or people share funny stories with me. I smile and people smile. It's just sort of a natural ability to share. And our world is needing this, because human beings, we can have a lot of fun, and everyone has that within them. It's just that we have some fears operating in our planet right now that makes us forget that we've got everything inside of us to share. So that's where I'll leave the live today. Thank you for sharing. Oh, Maya has a question here. Energy body and aura, are they the same thing? Yes, they are. The distinction of the energy body within your aura is there are aspects to the energy body also within the physical body. So for example, your chakras are in your actual physical body, and they expand out into the aura. So I like to think about it like a sun. If you have a sun, there is the energy of the sun, but the sun also radiates light. So your chakras are like that. They're a ball of energy that radiate energy. And that's a great question. Energy body also has aspects within the physical body itself. The chakras are within the energy body. They're wheels that spin. Chakra means wheel. So by the spinning as well, they actually are based on expansion and radiating out energy. And if our chakras are dormant because we're not maybe enlivening them through breathing or through having fun, through going out in the world and connecting to life, we're stuck inside our homes. The chakras also lack vitality. Does not mean you have to go outside to feed the chakras. You can do so much with your own chakras inside the energy body, inside the body, to give them energy, like breathing, visualizing them through what we did today. We felt the energy of the heart itself. It starts to feed it nurturance. It's like a plant. We give it life through breath, our imagination, our intent. Most important, our intent to give life to the chakras can feed them. Or you can go out and have fun and play and share. That's the importance of human relationships. By sharing, we get so much energy and life, and we need to recognize that relationships are a place of feeding us as well. So the next video I'll be looking at, that's right, next video. So today we looked at what living alone but feeling connected, and feeling what is the home in the heart. Home is where the heart is. How can we expand that even if you're at home, and how to, I gave you the tool. So next time will be the 10th of June. And I'm going to look at what I've just ended on. What is the purpose of getting out into community? What's the purpose of being part of community? Why do we want to be with groups? I mean, we're human social animals, but I'm going to look at that next Monday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern in New York time and 11:30 a.m. Aussie time. And then I'll skip the following week as I'm away on retreat. And then June 24th, I'm going to look at all the world is your family. How are we triggered by the world, and how that's a reflection of our own families, whether they're birth family or adopted. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah, Maya says, because we are all one. Yes, that's why the world is family. But we may not always get on. So we'll have a look at that June 24th. And that's right after our solstice as well, when we explore the world as family. So have a great week, and hopefully see you on next Monday. Thanks, and Sunday in Eastern Time, New York.